Hey guys, KurtiZ here again, talking about Damnation today. First thing off is starting spawns. On default you got one group was spawning here, and the other group was spawning in a control room. Now that was kind of unbalanced because this room here, the control room, if you look on the bottom left it says control room, so that's just what I'm calling it, is very powerful. It's pretty much the power position of the map because you got the height advantage. There's only limited ways into the room, which makes it easy to hold, etc, etc. So it's very unbalanced to have one team spawning in that room and the other one spawning across the map. Another thing, when you look at this map, it's got a symmetrical sense to it in the way, if you look at it from up here, you got the horizontal pathway there, horizontal across there, horizontal there, horizontal at the top, and then you got this square interior to the left and then the square interior to the right. And so what I've done is I've left one spawn there and then just put the other spawn opposite, so they both spawn on opposite sides to each other, both on the bottom, which means that off the start they can either fight each other directly or work their way higher into the map and then fight from there. I did a lot of testing on this map with the default weapon spawns, and one thing I noticed was that in 4v4, the fight for rockets, where camo is now, where rockets used to spawn, it was just a clusterfuck, like there's so many ways to get into that area. You've got that door here, you've got over here, you can drop down from up top, you can hide in there, then drop down, you can come across here, go through the teleporter, drop down, and it turns into just a nade spam, and the first person that grabs it usually dies before he can get out, and then it's just a huge clusterfuck over the rocket launcher, and it just wasn't smart gameplay really, it wasn't fun at all and just didn't really work. So what I've done on my version is put rockets right in the middle, and what happens there is at the start is works out to be a really even battle over the rockets, because you can't really push out this door. You can shoot across, but you can't really push out because you get killed, so you need to do other things like send a guy through teleporter on this side, or run down and shoot from here to stop those guys, and likewise on this side they can lift up and shoot down to the opposite side, or carry on around, shoot down. And I put camo down the bottom because it was up the top, but in CE you could shoot the camo down, and quite often the camo would get shot down to a lower level and it would get picked up, and camos are much better power up to be using to attack. So by the way this map plays, how this is the point that you defend, it's kinda pointless having the camo right next to it, because what are the defenders going to do with it? They're going to sit up here with camo and it's just going to run out and they're not going to get much use for it. If anything, there should be an overshield there. But for this map I think that camo down the bottom is a lot better, just because of the limited access that there is into this room. I think there needs to be various weapons to use to attack it, and I think camo works really well in that respect. And one thing I noticed when testing this version is that it makes the start spawn like just awesome. Like one of the strats that I'd use is I'd run up here, go down, grab the camo, and then while both of the teams are still fighting over it, I'd just sneak camo across and pick up the rocket launcher. And so I think that'll be a real well-known strat to use, and teams will have to watch out for it. So it might almost end up being a fight for the camo first and then rockets, but it just makes the start spawns really dynamic. Like there's so many teams can think of so many different strategies to use off the bat, so I think that works really well. As for the other weapons on the map, I wasn't really 100% sure. I like the sniper here. Like I think the sniper belongs there, it always has been, and it works well there. And the other sniper used to be up the top here, but I thought it's kind of unbalanced, and it's kind of stupid because I can just grab this sniper here, because the snipers spawn at the same time, so I could just wait for sniper spawn, pick that up and drop down, and within a few seconds I've got both snipers in my hand, and it's just a bit overpowered. And another thing is, since this is the room to hold, they would get that sniper, and then it was quite easily they'd get this sniper as well. And likewise off the start spawn, not only does this team spawn next to the strongest side, they spawn next to the sniper rifle as well. Like they get a sniper rifle straight away. I noticed that in default penance or damnation, they'd placed a sniper here, and I thought that was fantastic. Like, it again just adds to these start spawns in the corners, that it makes it a bit more symmetrical. Like, this side can come up and run and grab their sniper and shoot across, and likewise these guys can do the exact same thing. And then, like, during a game, so that one team's got control of this room here and the control room, and they're defending, they get a sniper to work with, and then the other team that's spawning on the other side of the map gets a sniper to work with as well, kind of like Sanctuary or something like that. And then you get the sniper battles instead of one guy just having all the ammo and just picking people off. It's not really fun for either side when it's like that. So yeah, the sniper rifles, I think definitely placing them there and there is a good idea. Camo, that works. Originally on this map there was an overshield right there, and then camo is up the top. But I just think with the way that the power-ups work in Reach, it's not very competitive to have two of them, because they're not on static spawners. So, like, if this OS gets picked up like 15 seconds late, the next spawn's going to be 15 seconds out to when you think it should spawn. And then, so if you've got this one 15 seconds out and then the other one maybe 23 seconds out, it makes it really hard to predict when the power-up's coming up, which means that there's going to be no fight over it, because it becomes a lot harder to judge when it's coming up. Like in CE it worked because you knew that they're coming up every minute. Sweet, the overshield and OS is coming up, or whatever times they are on, and so everyone knew them, and so they could always fight over them, and it worked really well. But it just doesn't quite work in this game, so I think just because of the way it works, it should be limited to just one power-up on this map. Now another thing I was thinking about was grenade launcher. I really think it should be added to at least one of these new maps, because otherwise we'll probably only have like grenade launcher on Zealot, and I'm not sure what other Forge maps we're going to keep, but you know, you kind of want to have the weapons spread around at least on a few maps, otherwise it's kind of pointless having it. So what I did is I added it up the top here, but I'm not 100% sure on it. Like, if you guys have any better ideas or think it's stupid and just remove it and who cares, then just let us know on the thread. The other thing was jetpack. I added that in over here. There was a PP there, but it was kind of pointless because this room here is kind of like it's the back end of the map, if that makes sense, and so this PP wouldn't really get as much use as you would hope. But I think this area here is just perfect for putting a jetpack in. It's like nice little space for it, and then these teams that are on the back end that are attacking this side get an extra option for attacking, like they can jetpack into there or jetpack up the top here and surprise them. I want to talk about the map geometry now. So the reason why, I'll explain why this room is the powerful position. There's only two ways to attack it, and you can put your back against the wall, so you don't have to worry about getting flanked or anything. The only ways you can attack this room is through this tunnel here, which is just really prone to grenades. Like, it's so hard. If people know you're coming up, you can't make it up here. If there's two people in here, they just grenade the crap out of that room, and then they just get the nice angle and they get to strafe on this ramp here. And I'm sure you guys know that a person strafing on a ramp is a lot harder to hit than someone just strafing on a flat floor, so they're just at a real big disadvantage down there for that route. And the other one is teleporter. Those are the only two ways to get into that room. So like I said in the prisoner one, I think that for each area to work in a map there has to be at least 3 ways to get into a room. Otherwise it does make the limited routes that there are into choke points. So what you find happening on this map is you have people up here and sitting over here, sitting up here, and they'll just be watching the teleporter, and then you have the other people watching down here, and then quite often you have a person standing on this pipe as well just to watch him, just to be a scout kind of thing. So everyone else can focus on the teleporter. You can just scout this doorway. As soon as you see someone coming up, you just call it out, and then as soon as they get close, you just, you know, jump them kind of thing. So one idea I haven't actually put it in yet, but one idea I had was to add a gravity lift right here, think that needs to be flipped. And then if that goes right there, I'll have to move those spawn points obviously, but if that goes there, it lifts you perfectly up into this room here, and then that's the third route to attack this room. Because one thing I noticed on this map is that this area here, like this platform up here, is kind of like, it's just a huge dead space almost. Like, it does get used, but because there's only like 2 ways into it, like you can't even get up from this angle. The only way to actually get up there is to come from this direction. Like, so yeah, you come onto this and then usually you just jump off it all the time and not much really happens. So I just thought it would actually give some use to this platform if there was a lift right at the end, so people would lift up and then I'd actually have to walk along it to be able to get to the control room. Just make it a bit more, just spread the combat kind of thing instead of having it all compact into this room. Because a lot of the battles happen in the sniper room here just because of how many ways there are, and because there's this door here, there's that door, that door, that door, you can jump down there. So a lot of fights happen here, but if there was a lift over here, it would take some of the pressure off that room and make some battles happen up here as well. Another thing with these teleporters is I noticed it was a huge problem was being able to camp. Like if you teleport and then you just sit on it, no one can come through. So say this team that's got control here, they could just send a guy up here, teleport through, and then quickly teleport back. It's kind of screwed up because of those things are in the way, but you get the idea. He can just sit here and fully block it, and then those guys, that's one of their routes blocked off, and then the only way that they can attack is to come through the bottom and come through that room. And like that's a huge problem. Like they wouldn't be able to move at all. Like if money's on the line, people will try maneuvers like that. So what I've done is put soft kill zones inside the teleporter, so you can only camp on it for 10 seconds at a time. And then of course you got the delay, you have to wait before that before the time resets. So because in CE there used to be or in Halo 2 as well, the tally fragging. So if I was camping on that, if someone started coming through, I'd die if I waited too long. But yeah, that feature's not in this game, so the soft kill zones kind of replicate that. Yeah, another thing for the rocket launcher being there instead of down there is to make people move out of that room, because when the rocket launcher's down there and people are in that room, they can kind of just move across and drop down and get it anyway, or at least make the other team, or stop the other team from getting it. But when the rockets are out there, they actually do have to move out to get angles on here and even push out if they want to secure them for themselves. And then it just creates some nice sniper angles and stuff like that. Like you can stand up here with a sniper and pop out and try and take those guys out that are going for the rockets, and just makes it a lot more interesting rather than just having a nade spam down the bottom here. And then it actually gives some meaning to those bridges as well, because that end of the map doesn't really get used in comparison to this side. So yeah, I'm just trying to spread the combat a bit more, you know. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this map. Just give me your ideas on this lift here, because I'm not 100% sure on it. I think the idea behind it is pretty sound, and I think it could work really well, but I haven't tested it yet. And the other thing is a grenade launcher. Let me know what you guys think about the grenade launcher up here as well. I think I've actually removed it from this version, but yeah, I'll give a download link, and yeah, if you have any other ideas or issues with this map, let us know. Cheers.
Game over.